Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I'm Aisha, and in today's episode we will be talking about the Supreme Court big decision which has come on private property. So whether the state can use private property of the people in the name of common good, and how much can they use. Now, what has been the review of the Supreme Court with regard to this? So in today's video, the points of discussion that we will be doing is, first of all, about the news, then what the Supreme Court has said. Is there any dissenting view with regard to this majority judgment which has come on the Supreme Court take on private property, and then with regard to it legal aspect of private property in India, and then the historical judgments which has come. So let us first of all look at the news. So the news talks about not all private properties can be used by state for the community. So not all private property can be used by state for the community. It means that if a person possesses many properties, so all the properties state cannot take from the people in the name of community or in the name of community good. Not all, not every property can be taken by the state. There are at times there are points on in the name of which the state will take or the state needs to take, but for that also a notice can be given to the person or the notice will be given to the person. But every property cannot be taken by the state for the community. Supreme Court holds in majority decision. Majority decision means that this decision was given by a 9-judge bench. It means that majority decision, majority of the judges are in favor of not all private property can be used by state for the community. As we move forward, Drishti IAS has come up with the IAS GS Foundation course which will be covering both prelims and mains in an offline mode in English medium, and the batches are starting Indore 13th of November 3:30 p.m. and Delhi, that is Karol Bagh English medium batch 26th November 6 p.m. If you have any query, give us a call at 8010440440. Let's begin. So in a majority judgment, and it was a 9-judge bench of the Supreme Court which has talked about the private property, and the point which the Supreme Court has said is not every resource owned by private players. It means private players can own many resources, but those many resources or though every resource of those is not allowed, or that every resource cannot be used by the state, and that is why word every becomes very important. Not every resource owned by private players, fine, can be considered as a material resource of the community. Material resource of the community, it means that the resource which is of private player, that a resource which is owned by the private player, it cannot, every resource will not be considered as a material resource of the community. It means that the private player's resource will be of private players. It will not be considered that the private player resource will be of community. That resource will not be a community resource. Read again. See, not every resource owned by a private player can be considered a material resource of the community. Community resource is different and private players resource is different. So every resource of private player cannot be considered a resource of the community. I hope this is clear. Now let's read again. To be used by the government to serve the common good. Understand the important words. First of all, it is common good, important word. Then material resource of the community, important word. Every resource. It means that state or government, for the purpose of serving the common good for the people, they cannot use every resource of the private player for the material resource of the community. Now this is what you need to understand, that common good of the people, in that name state or government cannot use the every resource of the private player in the name of material resource of the community. It means that the community resource is different and the private resource is different. And the Supreme Court, this is the most important line that you need to understand, and this is what the Supreme Court has said. So crux of this line is, or crux of this statement becomes that state in the name of common good cannot take every resource of the private entity or a private player. Then the Supreme Court has also talked about that they have dismissed such a power of acquisition by the state. It means that the state cannot take the private property of the private players in the name of common good. Then the Indian economy has already transitioned from the dominance of public investment to the coexistence of public and private investment. Now this is what the Supreme Court has said while talking or while giving this judgment. Now the Supreme Court has said that Indian economy, if we look at Indian economy, now Indian economy has changed over the year. Indian economy has not followed a robust or a rigid trajectory over the years. It has changed. Now if we take for example, the Indian economic reforms in the year 1991 took place. Before the time of 1991, everything was in the hands of the public, or there was license raj, there was state control over everything, or private players were not there. So everything was in the hand of the government. But after the economic reforms, that is privatization, liberalization, you can say globalization, all these things took place. Then after that, after the year of 1991, FDI started to come in. Liberalization took place, globalization took place, private players entities also came into the market and they started to work. And that is why the Supreme Court has said that over the years, when Indian economy has not followed a rigid pattern, then how can the private property of private players, every property cannot be taken from them in the name of common good by the government or by the state. If the Indian economy has changed, then things also need to change. And that is why it is said that Indian economy has already transitioned. It means Indian economy has also changed from dominance of public investment to the coexistence of public and private investments. Before 1991, it was all public, but after 1991, private has also entered, and now in today's time, we also see a PPP model, that is the public-private partnership model, and the private players have also done very well and has contributed to the growth of Indian economy. Then the majority decision has also reminded of a particular rigid economic dogma of the past, and it has pointed towards that the past rigid dogma needs to be shed away, and we need to understand and accept that the transition has taken place in the Indian economy. So the transition also needs to take place with regard to private property. Then the Indian economy has already transitioned, as we have already discussed this point. So this is what the majority of the things is. All you have to remember is that state cannot take every property of a private player in the name of common good or while thinking about the material resource of the community. Now let us talk about the legal view of private property and its distribution. First of all, about the constitutional view. So right to property earlier was a fundamental right under Article 31, but by the 44th Amendment Act of 1978, it was given the status of a constitutional right, and it was no more a fundamental right, and it was removed from the list of the fundamental rights and was added as a constitutional right under Article 300A. So under Article 300A, right to property came, and it talked about that no person shall be deprived of his property by authority of law. It means every person has the right to have its own property. Then comes the 9th schedule. 9th schedule says it lists specific laws, state laws and central laws that cannot be challenged in court. And this becomes important from this because it also included laws like land reforms, like abolition of zamindari system. Now see, abolition of zamindari system, people can say that private property, why zamindari system was abolished. At that point of time, abolition of zamindari system was important because at that point of time, it was concentration of land was in very few people, and at that point of time, it became very, very important to put a cap that this much land needs to be given to anyone, and above it cannot be given. And because some of the people or very few people had almost all the land in their hands, and that is why abolition of the zamindari system was very, very important at that point of time. And in today's time, taking property of the private players becomes important to protect. Now, Article 39B of the Indian Constitution, which is also a DPSP, it talks about, it places an obligation on the state to create policy towards securing the ownership and control of the material resource of the community. Now, Article 39B, which is a DPSP, DPSP stands for Directive Principles of State Policy. It means these are directives for the state to do something or to form laws which are good for the state and which are good for the people of the state. And that is why they are considered ideals. And it talks about that it puts an obligation on the state that the state needs to create a policy, and this policy works towards securing ownership and control of the material resource of the community. Now, see, material resource of the community they need to control, are so distributed as best to subserve the common good. So, it needs to be done in a way that common good is served. Look at this slide. It was also mentioned material resource of the community. It cannot be considered a material resource of the community. See, material resource of the community. Same term is coming. Same, exact same term. And the DPSP is talking about that state needs to see that the ownership and control of the material resource of the community for the common good. For common good, it needs to be done. Then Article 31C. Article 31C talks about that particular directive principles like Article 39B and 39C cannot be challenged by invoking the Article 14 or the rights under Article 19. This Article 31C talks about. So this is the legal view on private property and its distribution. Article 31 you need to remember, Article 300A you need to remember, 9th schedule also becomes important, and Article 39B, because when this all matter of the private property reached the Supreme Court, Article 39B has played an important part, because over the years interpretation of different judgments with regard to Article 39B has taken place. So we will be looking into it also, because Article 39B is one of the basis for the decision. Now, interpretation of Article 39B. Now, what 39B different interpretations has been done over the years. So, first of all, it was done in the state of Karnataka versus Sri Ranganath Reddy case in the year 1977. And it talks about that the privately owned resources did not fall within the ambit of material resource of the community. Now, this material resource of the community phrase, it does not contain privately owned resources. This is what the state of Karnataka versus Sri Ranganath Reddy case talks about. But in this judgment, there was a dissenting view also, and the dissenting view was of Justice Krishna Iyer. And Justice Krishna Iyer gave a dissenting view which became a point of discussion, and on the basis of which further judgments was also given. Now, what was the dissenting view of Justice Krishna Iyer was? Justice Krishna Iyer held a dissenting opinion that privately owned resources must also be considered material resources of the community. So, he talked about that the privately owned resources and the material resources of the community must come together, or they both goes hand in hand. Both are of the same type. Now, see, this was a dissenting view. Overall view was that privately owned resources did not fall under the ambit of the material resources of the community. But Justice Krishna Iyer said that privately owned resources must also be considered material resources of the community. I hope this is clear. Then came the second judgment, and which was Sanjeev Coke Manufacturing Company versus Bharat Cooking Coal case 1983. Now, what this case talked about was that privately owned resources must also be considered material resources of the community, and this case was on the lines of the Justice Krishna Iyer dissenting opinion. Krishna Iyer dissenting opinion was both goes hand in hand, the material resource of the community and the privately owned resources. And in the Sanjeev Coke Manufacturing Committee also, the Supreme Court talked about privately owned resources must also be considered material resource of the community. Then came the third case, and which was Mafatlal Industries Limited versus Union of India case 1996. And in this case, the court relied on the interpretation of Article 39B offered by Justice Iyer. Now, this case also was on the basis of the opinion given by Justice Krishna Iyer. And Krishna Iyer talked about that both goes hand in hand. But now the recent judgment by the Supreme Court, it talks about that both does not go hand in hand. Private property is different from the material resource of the community, and the court, or the Supreme Court, Honorable Supreme Court, has said that the past dogma, the past economic dogma needs to be shed away and new things needs to come, as the Indian economy has already transitioned over the years. So old or past dogmas also needs to shed away. Now, when we talk about this privately owned property aspect, now we must know that this is a 9th bench Supreme Court judgment which has come. Now, earlier 5 judge bench has already been given this. After that, 7 judge bench has also seen the matter, and now 9 judge bench has given the verdict. So this was about the whole matter, and in the end, a prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. And it is a PYQ of the year 2020, and it talks about which part of the Constitution of India declares the ideal of welfare state. Now, welfare state, which talks about welfare state, directive principles of state policy, fundamental rights, preamble, or the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So give me the answer in the comment section, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.